Yeah, so we were blessed in that we didn't have to do our own laundry, but girls did work down there and help with the laundry and stuff. Then, so it's just a lot of good things that you learn in this kind of a work situation that you might not have learned anywhere else. I got to also supervise on Saturdays some of the young girls that were in Craig dorm, and we'd take them down the trays for hikes, and some of those girls were Ann and Jan Stewart and Nadine Ramsey. So that was a lot of fun, and but I do remember that as a big time that we just got to be mentors to these younger kids. Back then, cheering, pep rallies, bonfires were a big part of our lives, as was football, basketball, track, baseball, skating, just all kinds of things. The music groups, there were so many different ones of those that, and I will say this, I don't know if I said it earlier, but I had told Becky Stevens and Kathy Peacock and Mr. Hill, I was gonna call on them today. Y'all see, they're not here. So, you know, Tony, if you want somebody to help you, don't mention any names. They won't show up. But as a student, as living in the community and going to school and then being a dorm student, you realize that there's so many different things, the differences of a regular school and quote French camp. And French camp had all the things that normal kids do, sports, tennis, well, I think tennis came in a little later, but chess programs, drama club, you know, so it was pretty well grounded, the school was. And all these things that normal people and normal everyday schools did, but we did it differently. Dorm life was different when I was a student. We weren't the family type that it is now. We had a house parent. Some of them I had Miss Andrews. Some of the dorms just had one house parent, and that's a lot, you know. But now they've moved into more of the family type situations with a father figure, mother figure, which is really important. And these poor people that had all these girls and boys by themselves, God bless them. So I was looking in one of the albums, yearbooks in 1965. There were only 35 administrative faculty and staff. 35. And got up to 67, and they had 45. I'm assuming now there's more like 100 or a little more than that. I'm not really sure.
Running about 200.
Staff?
Yeah, altogether.
Altogether, wow. And that includes volunteers and stuff, but you know, 35 people is not very many. And people like John Robert Cockrell, if y'all remember him. Well, he was Dean of Students, Athletic Director, football coach, basketball coach, and driver's ed, all at the same time. You know, a lot of hats. So, I mean, they really spread themselves thin, I guess, but kids didn't notice. We just did what we were told and went on. But church and chapel were very similar to what it is today, but again, also different. We had chapel every day at the Tabernacle, and Wednesday night services were there. This church, the Presbyterian Church, was reserved mainly for Sunday morning services. We had Chautauqua services. I'm not showing any of my pictures, I'm sorry, but I'll run through them at the end. Chautauqua was revival, and it was held at least 17 years before 1969. And then in one of these pictures, if I can get to it, excuse me just a minute. Let's see. These were the old dorms, and before the new ones got in here, and then you have Flowers and Day, and then the Tabernacle, and this is a baptism at the lake from 1975, and Dr. Bill Rittenhouse, I'm sorry, was the evangelist, I guess you would call it, but to me, I don't even remember. I may not have been there because of the time frame, but I never realized that they baptized kids at the lake. I think that's pretty awesome. So, I don't know why Chautauqua ended. It may have been because Camp of the Rising Sun, or not having many students during the summer. John Robert, do you know why they?
I just think the camp probably took over that responsibility.
Oh, okay.
It was one thing, you know.
Yeah, but let me see if I can mess up here. But between these incredible church services and the dedicated Christian staff, many students met and formed a lifelong relationship with their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And if that didn't happen, they had to have been meaningfully impacted by God, whether they admitted it or not. And you know that thinking back through their lives, because so many people come back to, well, French camp was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, I remember this. So it has carried an impact. I would say there have been world changers that have come out of this school. After graduation, the Newmans and others helped me apply and get accepted into Columbia Bible College. But I was a ninny, went home to Clarksdale, married the first boy to come along. So I did not follow up on that, and I know it caused some hurt and pain to the ones who had sponsored me. But that being said, I can't take it back. And anyway, but we began a sweet little family, moved back to French camp to Charlie Scoggins' house, where my first daughter was born. And then when I was pregnant with Michael, my second child that Betty Sue babysat for, I was working at Sheller Globe, and Stuart Angle called and wanted to know if I wanted a job. And I'm like, I've got one. And praise God, that door didn't close, because 2 days later, they were laying off everybody at Sheller Globe. And I mean, that was a big business for this area. Lots of people were employed there. But anyway, so God just kept that door open, let me come right on back in. And we worked in the Alexander Strange Hall. Well, yeah, that's what's the new name. Working for Stuart was a pure joy. He was funny, he was kind, he was caring, and in my mind, he's one of the great leaders in school. I worked with Earlene Crowder, Doc Pilcher, Miss Lucille Hodges, who later became Miss Rima Downing in the time that I had graduated, so love finds a way. And I fell right back into running the dressograph. It never went away. I don't know if they still use that metal plate thing or not. Surely not. They've upgraded. I don't have any idea. We'll find out, I guess. Let's see. Y'all, I told you I'm so unprepared. Please forgive me. I was a cheerleader sponsor the time I was here, and we made cake donuts, and I mean, we just sold cake donuts, and so we were sick of Katie Donuts, but they paid for the cheerleader uniforms, so, it was all worth it. We had, prepared for the, board meetings, was always crazy. And, but we had Miss Angle behind the scenes, cracking that whip, getting it to where it needed to be, wanting it perfect. And also, one of the other things was, Stuart found a snake in his closet, in his office back there, and y'all, he screamed like a girl. It was, I don't know what kind of snake it was, but it was one of the funniest things. I'll always remember us going in there, and I think he climbed up on the desk. But anyway, I think it was harmless, I don't remember. But, the living at French Camp, moving in and out as a child, moving back as an adult, working up at the school. Scott has all of my memories. Some of them are just overlap. So it's hard for me to sometimes think, well, was that when I was working here? Was that when I was a kid? So it's just, if some of my stuff overlaps, y'all can understand why. It just was like craziness. But knowing so many great staff and students while I was a student and on staff was a great privilege. I attended school and played sports under Coach Cockrell. Peggy Cockrell was at the grammar school. Coach Rich, Mr. and Miss Hill, Polly Allen, Margie Newman, Melba Marvelous. I've always called him Marvelous. Braswell. And so grateful that they're all here to still enjoy, but I was blessed to have been taught by our work with Sam Patterson, Stuart Angle, Sam Allen, Ralph Newman, Lewis Ward, Ruby Stevens, the Pilchers, three of them, three or two.
Those three.
Gladys and Don.
And Mr. Pilcher, what was his first name?
I don't know if I knew him. Sue
Don Pilcher.
Miss Thrill-Kill, Irene Taylor, Ken Utley, Louise Warren, Jimmy Braswell, Mr. Esley, Coach Hugh Long, and I even got to know Fran for a little bit before she passed. And I was at the school as the whole school was anxiously awaiting the birth of Jenny Cockrell. I mean, we were thrilled that we finally had a baby, and she has always been our baby. So, and what a perfect. And I mean, just, we were thrilled. God gave these people and countless others a mission in life by dedicating their life service to a countless number of needy dorm kids and day students, as witnessed by my own kids and grandkids, filling their minds with book learning and life skills, but more importantly, the knowledge of Christ and His undying love. And again, some of these people have been world changers. I ended up moving shortly after my youngest, third child was born, and moved to Alabama. I was only there for a few years, and I came back, and if my time gets too long, just say enough. But I moved back to French Camp, and I temporarily went to work at our store for Miss Mary and Mr. Luther. And I think they had a couple of silent partners, maybe Barney Thomas and Dick. Okay, that's what I thought. And I've got some pictures of this too. I've just got to show you. Let's see, that's me working at the school. Shell and Peas, my goodness, Michelle Peas forever. The famous donut making. Mr. Tinsley. Yeah, he was the auctioneer before Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that was when, I don't know, remember when, they actually quit doing the, what is it, the Harvest Festival in the old gym, but this picture is from 1975. There's a new scoreboard, there's Pig, y'all all remember Pig? Martha and Mr. Long.
Oh,
Miss Sue, there's, Harvest Festival again. And there are some great pictures, online. I mean, they're not, you can't see them as well here, but there's Mr. Luther. Ruth Grice.
Ruth.
Let's see, and I was trying to show kind of what the store, sold, which they sold everything. I mean, in the back, they had feed and nails and screws, anything to build with. There's our Jenny right there.
Oh.
But look at all the stuff. I mean, if it had a place to hang, they were gonna sell it. I think, that's Mike Hibner, as Batman. And that's the front of the store. This was an older picture, Mr. Luther on the scales. Janine, but they had, I mean, they sold bologna, the hook cheese, I don't even know what other groceries they sold, but I think it was a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But, Becky,
Move over a little bit, so,
oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Becky, and I mean, just like that picture there, that's all birthday supplies, birthday party. Just, so we were top notch, you know. Janine again, and I was Janine trying to, we'll go back to this one. But, in one of these, I may not have seen it, but you could see through the front window of the store. I'm gonna have to, I'm dripping, excuse me. But you could see the Mecklin house through the front window through the store, but I don't know if I got that picture, I'm not that technical. But, you know, I don't know the complete backstory on that store. I do know that they had partners, but now Henderson's supported 3 families. They, Maddie and James Earl, Marianne and Alan, and Bobby and Shirley, and they all had kids. So that was powerful business, you know. And right across the street from it was a service station, gas station, and they also sold gas. So, you know, that's, this town was booming at one time. It really and truly just had a lot going on. The little tiny house behind the consignment shop was Miss Noreen's beauty shop. I think we talked about it last time. And then someone sold monuments and
Noreen did. Noreen Thomas sold monuments,
oh, did she?
yeah.
Oh, okay. See, there's so much, you know.
Yeah, I got one of my, things down there, it was down when that boy of mine bought the place, that service station.
Mhm.
He was one
It was
that
still-
lived down there, it's down at my house now.
Yeah, it's just,
They had it piled down there, and I hold it down there.
yeah. But, I think I may have discussed this last time, but, my grandmother had an antique store in the little building between the Welcome Center and Mr. Bobby's. And then later on, she moved into the Brannon House and sold antiques there. And, at one time, I owned an antique store in Tony's place. And that Can I go any further with your place? No? But I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going
Hey,
to.
you were talking about the Harvest Festival, and do you know where it was started at? To the gym, you know where it was first started?
I do not.
You know where the boy, the big building up here, the boys' dormitory?
No, at the,
Right up on the hill up there, it's still up there, dormitory, it's the office and things up there now.
Yeah.
It was right there beside it, and there's a gym right there beside the boys' dormitory, there's a gym right there, and that's where they sold the stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Started right
because
there.
some of these pictures, showed the old gym and,
Yeah.
and the long food table out
That's where
there.
I played basketball in the old gym, man.
I did too. Anybody else play basketball
Did
there?
you play in that gym?
I
In that
did,
gym, yeah, I did.
yeah.
I want to play, but the
I'm gonna
coach.
tell you something else you might not know. I stayed in that dormitory right up there 3 years up there.
Did you?
A lot of people don't know that.
Coach Cockrell was a good coach, but he couldn't tell who was the best player.
He always told me
He
I
didn't want
was.
to come out who was the best.
He left me sitting on the bench. I tell everybody, I was the best 13 man ALA.
We're gonna get Coach Cockrell up here one day, and he's gonna clarify, are you ready to commit yet?
He's gonna defend himself.
Ms. Marinelle's counting on you.
That's right.
Retha's leaving out the best part about the gym. She was a great basketball player, I might say this. And her points were about 22 points a game, and she could have gone on to college, played college basketball, but we never could encourage her to do that when she found a young man she married. But she was. And they did win 75 girl basketball games when she was playing. And with the twins out here,
Yeah,
the
and
Parkson
Dixie.
twins, Peggy and Patsy, and they were good basketball players. All 5 of y'all were. We had a great boys team too. Yeah.
Was Tony Thomas on that?
Would have been better. Tony did the beat.
Tony was 24, and we were 24 and 3 that year.
Well, I explained, I considered that I was a good basketball player, but that's because my brother used me as his dummy partner. For 2 or 3 years, we played basketball up against a barn wall, and you could kill yourself doing that. But yeah, basketball was fun. It was one of the loves of my life. Let's see, and I'll hurry on. Who owned the little gas station that was on the right, well, on the left, coming up to the
HC,
Joe Leclerc.
CH.
CH?
Joe Macklin on
Joe
that
Macklin.
corner.
Okay,
And Tony did about that where Pete's place is.
so,
The Macklins had the little.
But you talking
Macklin
about the
has
gas
the
line.
gas station
On the
right there,
left as you
where the
come
sign is, the French Camp sign.
yeah,
That
now-
was the first gas station in French Camp right there.
okay, and did Red Taylor own that at one time?
Red Taylor run it over there one time.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there's just, round table helps, we need somebody taking notes, get all this straight. But yeah, I mean, and that was in operation, I think, when the other two, were in operation, was it?
What did Tony and them did a bit?
No, when CH,
The CH run that, yeah. Well, what it was, I can't think of, who was it, who did run that thing? I can't think of his
Ernest
name.
Damon.
No. And, he built that station, and Bobby Henderson run it. And then he bought the John Fairhouse place over there, and then CH run it.
yeah, but again, it was a flourishing little town.
Yeah.
Just, Tony's place has been everything, I'll hold off on that. And,
Legal and illegal.
fun and not fun. I mean, they had some of the best hamburgers in the world. I think it was, which Leonard, the Green Girls,
Wayne.
Wayne, didn't he run into?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, them burgers, the boys, my brothers would be down there, and we knew exactly where they'd been, cause they come home smell like a hamburger.
That place was a bank at one time and a drugstore and all that.
May I ask a question? At one time, or I have gone crazy one, there was a cafe down here,
Yeah. Right down on the corner.
just coming in off the trace.
Yeah, that brick building.
Because I used to stop, when I was patrolling on the trace, I used to stop in there and drink a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Now, what was the man's name then?
Ward.
Ben
Mr.
Austin.
Ward, Ben Austin.
Ben Austin.
Austin.
Ben Austin, I think.
Yeah.
Made the best hamburger steak.
That little building is one of the oldest buildings in Prince County.
Yeah.
And then jumped,
Well,
Bobby
that
Hennessy.
building's already gone now, right?
No, that brick building's right there.
Coffee house now.
It's a coffee house.
Yeah, coffee shop down there.
It started out as a bank, and then it was a drugstore, and Dr. Thomas
Had a little,
practiced in there.
I don't know, I had no
Dr. Thomas had a
idea.
little building over on the side,
Well,
on that
he
tree.
was in the back of the
Yeah.
drugstore.
There ain't no.
I had in my mind.
Yeah, go door there.
Y'all taking time?
Hey, Tony, everybody forgets what we learned. We're at that stage, we forget it.
But everybody's got a
Same stuff.
everybody's got a different take on it, because you remember things, you know, that you were involved in, just like my brothers, they had in the, thrift store, you know, they had pool hall and game room and, you know, all of that, what, 4 or 5 times?
Yeah,
You
that,
know.
you take, back Brandon, he run this, right there in the brick building, and then he built the building over there with the, what you call that place there,
Double blessing.
huh?
Double blessing.
Yeah, he built that right there,
Yeah,
and then he lived in that house right there where your boy lived.
yeah, and that was fun remodeling that house, but I got to move on here. Let me get up to, see, well, we done gone through half my notes, hallelujah.
He did yours, man.
You shut up.
Anyway, after, all of this, I ended up, living here. I had, 3 kids, worked in Kosciuszko multiple times. I ended up working for, Yates Construction, which we built, the largest project in Mississippi, which was the Nissan plant. So that was something pretty impressive. But through all that, I was here, but I wasn't here, you know, and just working away, raising kids. So I wasn't involved in French camp until really, actually after I retired. And then when I retired, I was raising Michael's kids because he was gone all the time. And so it's just been in the last few years that I felt like I needed to get involved. And somebody approached me about running for alderman. And as it turned out, I ended up having carotid artery surgery. And I don't know about it if y'all have ever had that, but it kind of scared me. And I just was like, okay, God, if I live through this and I don't have a stroke and I'm not debilitated, which are things that can happen to you, I will take better care of myself, eat better, work harder in my community, and try and be a better servant to you. And He has blessed me with all of that. Now, I did have to quit walking for a little while. Lord, I'm gonna get right back to it. I'm gonna keep up my part of the deal. But He's so good to answer our prayers and just be there for us. So, let me see when I get on down to the end of it. I'm going to bring up just a few of my grandchildren because I love them, and grandkids are what, and kids, what makes the world go round. But y'all all know Maddie Kay, and she's one of the loves of my life. She's in school over at Holmes. But I also had 4 kids that went to school here, umpteen grandkids and nieces. I'm gonna bring up, I don't know if any of y'all remember Gracie Overton. That is my niece. She will graduate med school in May, and she has 4 degrees. So, and of course she'll have to go to her, intern, but, yeah, we're all super proud of her. Chance, my oldest daughter's youngest son, Chance Pierce, thank goodness, Bruce and Rusty aren't here because they had faint over here in this, but he was just selected as one of 40 under 40, under the age of 40, general contractors in Alabama, and he's 31. So I'm just super proud of him, and but he did give them fits during school, I can promise you. Let's see, what else? My vision is so bad. My granddaughter Chandler married a young man who's had a really bad wreck when he was a senior in high school and was paralyzed, and but he didn't let that stop him. He's paralyzed from the waist down, and he was Paralympian. He competed in international wheelchair fencing and was ranked number 5 in the world, and was a 7-time national champion. And he's in one of these magazines that I have out here, so you can see his story. And he also, one of the cute things about him was when they had their wedding reception, he had 2 of his friends tie his legs to their legs so that he could get up and dance with her. And Caleb picked up on it, so they have a huge following now because of that, but it's in this magazine as well. But just some neat stuff, and I feel like through it all, God has blessed them and put them where they are. We don't always follow God's will, but He still throws it right out there for us to follow, and I'm grateful for that. I'm done.
Amen.